Hi everybody. We have Tai Sawyer, the Mind Shift Maven here. And because we all got the news earlier or early this week, yesterday, that we're going to be on lockdown for the entire month of April. So I think because we're doing this, now is the best time for us to be thinking about our mind shift, what we want in life, and to really take our kind of life and our life goals to the next level. And let's use this time wisely. So a lot of people are saying, let's use this time wisely, but we don't really know what to do. So we have Ty here, who this is her life work. So I'm going to let her explain herself, but then we're also going to talk about some core things that we can really focus on this time period so that we can grow and leave the quarantine better than the way we came into the quarantine.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
goal.
Amen. Amen. Hi, everyone. I'm Tai Sawyer, also known as the Mindset Shift Maven. And I preach. I always say preach, but I preach, share, and teach about a list that I call the 12 areas of the whole self. And it has 12 different areas where you can set goals to ensure that you are living a full life as your whole self. And the first one on there is your life vision, which is your North Star. It is your compass and sets the tone for how you set goals in other areas of your life moving forward.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about your overall life goal. When people hear that, people really don't know what that really means overall. It's like, do I talk about what it looks like when I'm, dead? And they're saying this is all the things that were her life that she lived. This is, the legacy that she left for her heirs. This is what people knew her as. Is that what that looks like? Does it look like something that I'm working on within the next 5 years to 20 years? Like, what do I do if I am a young adult, or even someone that is maybe having a new chapter? How do I engulf in this to kind of figure it out? Because I feel like when people are younger, they're like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? People
Right.
say things, but then it's like, okay, I am grown. So now let's figure out how I can actually make this life and not do make believe or play pretend.
Right. So first I want to start off with sharing the 12 different areas. So get out your pens. I'm going to just share the 12 areas. The first one is life vision. The second area is health, fitness, and beauty. The third area is spiritual path. Fourth is intellectual knowledge. The fifth is love relationship. Sixth, social and community. The seventh is wealth building. The eighth is career and mission. The ninth is quality of life. The 10th is life roles. The 11th is emotional intelligence. And the 12th is creative life. And I wanted to list those out so that you can kind of understand what I mean when I say working on your life vision. And what I mean by that being your ultimate goal, your North Star. And so you asked a good question, which is that when you're talking about your life vision, is that, what they're saying in your obituary, or is that my 5-year goal plan? And it's both, because it's about living a full life daily and working towards your life vision daily. I mean, the only way to get to your obituary is to live your life every day until it's time for, an obituary to be written about you. And so with the life vision, it's about setting an ultimate goal, an umbrella goal, and that's point B. That's the end. That is, what do you want your obituary to say about you? And for me, the example, or I guess this is actual my life vision, is to be a successful businesswoman, a mother, and a wife and a mother. And so that is ultimately at the end what I want people to say about me. And setting a goal to get there is is getting from point A to point B. And so, I want them to say, I want them to fill in the meat and potatoes, but at point A, I know that this is what I want to get to. And then setting a goal and actually achieving those goals, accomplishing the rest of the goals in the 12 areas of the whole self is how you fulfill your life vision.
I love it.
So,
Love it. So let's pick a couple of these that maybe are a hot topic that people want
mhm,
to be able to focus on during
yes,
this quarantine phase. Because even if you are an essential worker, I mean, our um, after hour spots are, there's really no place to go. So even if you are working, I don't want you to feel like, well, this isn't for me because I still have to go to work, or things are
right,
pretty normal. Even if things are pretty normal, like there is no outside activity, the number of people that can convene at one place has been extremely limited. Like
yes,
you have your time back as well. And so I want anybody listening to feel like this is something that I can do and take advantage of.
yes, yes, it is. You let me know, which areas would you like to jump into that are the hot topics?
I think that one of the hot topics would definitely be, I'm sure a lot of people are having career kind of decisions. I think that that's probably the first thing, survival mode. Okay, where I'm working, maybe I thought that my boss or my people were going to act a little bit differently. This has opened up
Mhm,
the sunglasses or the rose colored glasses of how I feel like my employees were going to treat me, or treat my employers, or maybe my looking at my shift of where I'm going. This is different. If you're in, maybe someone that was in the travel and hotel or vacation industry, maybe they're over here really trying to figure out, do they want to stay, do they want to pivot? You have the right to look at both. um so I think a lot of people, one, are going to want to figure out, like, what does a full career life look like, and
yes,
what are some of those goals that I need to kind of start thinking about as I'm getting a new resume and starting to go about that process.
yes, yes. That's a good one. And I'll use myself as an example. But when we're talking about setting goals in the career and mission area of the 12 areas of the whole self, you first need to see if you are in a job. A job is something that you're doing, which is nothing wrong with being a job because y'all got bills to pay. But if that's just something that is just a means to an end, you're in a job. A career is more sustaining. It's you have the opportunity for professional development, and you're picking up skills along the way that you can use towards your mission, which is the third area of the career and mission, where you are fully aligned with your life's purpose and what you came into this earth to do. So first, figure out where you are there. If you're
Mhm.
in a job, then you may have been let go, unfortunately. And I understand that one of the main things is how I'm going to pay my bills. So you can do two things at once. You can figure out a way that you are going to pay your bills, but you can also set aside time to figure out how you can get into a career. And that could be setting goals. A goal to go from job to career is, if you need more education, that's a goal. Take a class, or go back to school, get an advanced degree. That's a goal. If you are in your career, but you want to advance, a goal could be getting a certification for something, for a skill that not many people at your job have. And or if you just want a higher salary, a goal could be learning how to negotiate a higher salary. Or if you're ready to move on to your mission, that takes a little, more deeper spiritual work to move into your mission, but that could also be your goal and that you focus on.
I love it. So, what I'm getting from you is that a lot of times people have a goal and they don't know that in order to achieve or hit that one goal, you want to have tiny, like, milestone marks that you're ticking and actually getting. So
Yes,
you want to break it down where you can hit something daily or weekly and you're actually moving towards something versus,
right.
oh, I want to be a singer. It's like, okay, well, Are you a writer? Do you need classes? Like, what's your branding? Like, you can't just be like, I want to be beyond the next Beyonce one day. It doesn't just work
Right.
that, you know.
Right.
So I'm understanding that you want to be super specific, especially when you're thinking about what is going to be that full life, that full career. And so
Yes.
we were talking in our last chat that I
Mhm.
think that everybody now may want to start looking at what is their side hustle that feeds into their mission that they can profit
Yes.
off. When you think about even a small business, if you bring in an extra $10,000 to $20,000 a year, that's nothing if that's your only salary, but that's a lot if that's your salary on top of what you're making. That could
Right.
be a down payment, or you can buy a property.
That is
There's so many
yes.
things you can do with that extra expendable cash. And I think now is a great time for you to figure it out, but to take actionable small baby steps. Um,
Hmm.
I think that there's so much we look at like, oh, well, I can't own a hair care company, or I can't have this brand or whatever because I don't want to put all this money in it. But it's like you can private label your products and buy however much $200 can get you and try to make a profit and
Yes.
just
Yes.
try it. Just try
Yes.
it. It's
Yes.
everybody's doing it too. People be acting like they making their stuff from home. Like scientists. And it might have started that way,
Right.
worry. Got an idea that I ripped up, but can you go ahead and make it so that it has a shelf life?
Right. Yeah, this is the perfect time to um definitely dive into your side hustle, especially if you do have the opportunity to work from home. And you're in, if you don't have an essential job and you are at home all the time, you can really maximize your time. If you have an essential job and you have to come home, you may have to schedule in, tweak your time a little bit, but it's the time for everyone to, if you have a side hustle that you've been thinking about, to, if you know what the side hustle is, what is the next step in that? Do you need to do some research? Do you need to talk to some potential customers? Do you need to draw up, the what it's going to look like? Do you need to work on your branding? There's something that you can be doing that by the time we get out of this lockdown, you could be ready to go to the next level. But you're right, it's very hard to want to go from here to here, but it's very easy to go from here to here.
Yes.
All of us can take advantage of that.
Yes. Okay. I love it. So now, I'm sure if you're quarantined with someone, you want to work on your relationship. And if you are quarantined by yourself, you probably now like are ready to really be thinking about what that looks like as far as moving to the next level with someone. I know that somebody posted a meme like, clubs are shut down, restaurants closed. I'm ready to get married now. And there's some truth to that. A lot of people want to be quarantined with someone, and if you are quarantined with someone, you want to make sure that it's a calm environment. You don't want to be in a situation where it's toxic or a lot of arguing or whatever, because where can you go? If you can't go to Bella
To the
Noche,
grocery store. That's it.
literally, where can you go? So you have to figure out how to be calm and be with people. So let's talk about those things and what you feel in the personal life.
So, our last conversation, I know we talked about communication, and we talked about being vulnerable, which are two things that you want to have in a healthy relationship if you are in a relationship. Um, but another thing that I actually really love, and something that me and my boyfriend have talked about, I've been in a long-term relationship, is the five love languages. I love the five love languages, and so if you want to use this time to deepen your relationship and you haven't discussed the five love languages, which is what the five love languages is your way of communicating that you love your partner and your way of receiving love from your partner. There's a free test online. I think if you go to the actual love languages website, there might be a small charge for it, but I would say first, both you and your partner take the test to see what your top love language is. And then they actually, if you sign up for the email, they send an email every day of something that you can do to show you love your partner according to their love language, and something that you can communicate to your partner on how to receive, how they can best communicate with you that speaks to your love language. So I think that's a great way to a great step to deepen your relationship if you're in one.
I love it. And then I know we also talked about in the last session that, for me, I am horrible with text messaging. It's something that I struggle with, especially during the day. But I will hop on a call with you. I will talk to you for a good hour. We can catch up. I will give you my attention. And that is just the way that I supersede. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that I was in the wrong because
Mm-hmm.
I have not caught up to what is the 21st century way of communicating.
Right.
However, with Tai over here guiding me, we realized that I am communicating how I like to communicate and how I receive the way that I want people to check in on me and to kind of have that love of communication opening. So it's now a point of two things. If a person can't kind of be open to receiving the way that you prefer to be communicated to, move on from that person,
Yep.
because that's going to be that's a huge thing, and you've
Yeah.
already communicated how you like them like to. And there's a difference, like if they like texting, then maybe you guys can compromise, but for someone
Yes.
that's not going to be
Absolutely.
able to respect the way that you like to be communicated to, that may be what you need to kind of move forward from once you figure out
Mm-hmm.
what you want in life. So if you want
Yes.
that serious relationship, if you want that forever love, if you want that commitment, then knowing these things and being able to communicate them up front and
Up front.
soon helps. Not like,
Yes.
yeah, not after it's been a year and now you over confused. There's a situationship where you kind of love them, you kind of don't. You don't want to do that. Not if you're working
Right.
on yourself in this quarantine, because it's a lot of
Yes.
noise. That's why I told her, I'm like, it's a lot of noise out here. Everybody on social media. That means everybody DMing. Then
Yes.
people on the Tinders and the Bumbles all over the world. But that don't stop that there's actual people on your social media that just gonna DM. And then there's a
Right.
number that's just gonna FaceTime. Hey, what you doing? Just checking on you. That's like the comment. Just checking on you.
I'm at home. I'm good. I'm safe. Mark safe at home.
Mark safe at home. Boy,
Right.
the corona virus.
Yes.
So what do you do for those people that are like, okay, I have more time to kind of dive into this thing. I don't want to be overwhelmed, but I definitely want to take this time to like move forward and put myself out there more.
So if you are ready to uh like move forward, if you're single but you know that you no longer want to be single, that is the love relationship area, the 12 areas of the whole self. A goal that you can set in that area. There are plenty of goals that you can set, but if you know that you're ready to move forward, um, a goal that you can set is probably a self-assessment to figure out if you are actually ready to move forward. Have you built up the skill of communication, of mature communication in a relationship? Have you worked on loving yourself enough where you won't bring heavy or toxic baggage to a relationship? Should you happen to get in one, we can finally meet people face to face. um, and if not, then you can, there are plenty of options for self-love, outside of taking a bath and polishing nails and stuff like that. Deep self-love, which again is aligned with self-assessment. You could talk to a therapist. And uh, again, my example, before I got into my long-term relationship, I knew that I wanted to be in a long-term relationship. I wanted it to be healthy and I wanted it to be happy. And I decided that I needed to bring in some professionals. Okay. And so I went out to a therapist and I went to her with a plan. I said, I want to work on my communication skills and I want to work on being vulnerable with my emotions, because that is the type of person that I will want to be in a relationship with. And so you can do that. You could do that now if you're ready to take the next step towards a happy, healthy relationship. And there are plenty of sources online now that are offering face video, digital therapy, where you can talk to someone, you can lay on your own couch and talk to the therapist and come to her with a plan for the type of relationship that you want to have.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do one more area that people you think will want to focus on this quarantine season.
Yes, so I believe it's the same thing from our last chat, which is quality of life. Um, I know right now we're all stuck at home, which is still a good thing. There's lots of opportunity of being stuck at home because you get to, well, first, let me back up. The quality of life area is about. That is the area where you're focusing totally on the things that bring you joy. So if that is reading, if that is traveling, if and obviously we can't travel right now or shouldn't be traveling right now unless it's essential. Or if that is shopping, if it's fashion, if it's read, if it's doing some type of work with children, whatever it is that brings you joy. The quality of life area is about setting goals in the areas that bring you absolute joy. And the reason why I think this is such a popular area is because there are a lot of people who are not happy, and that's like just what's real. And I always like to look at the deeper reasons why. And many people mistakenly look for the happiness in others
Mm,
instead of from within themselves or whatever they're interested in doing. And the quality of life is about doing the things that make you happy and that bring you utter joy. I'm talking about those goosebumps on your arms joy, where you don't know how much time has passed type of joy. And for me, that's traveling. And so obviously I can't travel now, but what brings me joy is planning traveling, looking at travel pictures, following travel blogs, explore the things that bring you joy.
yes. And so for people that aren't happy and they don't know where to begin, how do you start figuring out like what makes you happy? And
Trying things.
just trying. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Trying
Yes. Just
trying different things.
maybe try a new thing each day to figure out what works for you, what makes you happy, what doesn't. And for those that
Yes.
do make you happy, we had talked earlier, like scheduling things is important regardless of what it is. Like, yes, quality time, maybe if you like to read or journal or cook. I know that's a lot of people's stress relievers for some people.
Right.
Some people, it's very stressful. So be mindful of what you're doing and not make it a fad.
Right.
Having quality time with your partner, sex, and
Yes.
if you're not even there yet, then figuring out what works for you and how to please yourself. You were talking a little bit earlier
Yes.
about how a lot of women aren't happy in that department, and so maybe taking this time to figure out how to make them happy. I'll let you continue though.
Yes. Okay. So I actually used to. So I haven't told you that. I'm telling you this in this chat, but I used to be an anonymous sex blogger. Did
Wow.
you know that? Yes. It is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I would answer women's questions in some of the big things that I came across. What the biggest topic that I came across was orgasms. Many women there. I remember the first comment I ever received about it when I was like, "Ladies, it's time to discuss orgasms," and a lady was like, "What orgasm?" Like a grown woman who said, I have not ever experienced, I've heard people talk about it, but I've never personally experienced that myself. And obviously, for her to make that comment lets me know that is something that you do want to experience. Like, and you deserve to. That is about quality of life, of living a full life, which includes living a full sexual life where you are truly enjoying it. You are fulfilled in the activity, just like you could be fulfilled in any other activity. And so you can use this time to schedule getting to know your body using Angela or Hank, if you don't want to use a woman's name, um, to figure out what can bring you to that explosive point of pure joy when it comes to our sexual activities, which is we're all humans. We all desire the pleasure of sexual activities. And so you can use this time, schedule it with yourself if you're at home, and explore your body. You can use different things. Amazon is still working. You could order different toys and explore. Google, I'm forgetting the lady's name now, who is like my favorite sex expert.
Susan, right?
Yes, girl. That's my girl. Yes, I can't believe I forgot her name. Check out her videos on YouTube. And I love her videos because she is just so matter of fact with it, because she's like, this is nothing to be embarrassed about. If
Right.
there's a problem, you're not getting an orgasm, baby, let's figure out the problem. Let's solve it. Practice makes perfect. And it's gonna be fun at the same time.
Right, right.
Yes. And if you do have a partner, then schedule the sex. And it doesn't have to be a big um, like to do where you sitting across the table from each other and writing in your calendars. You could say that same day, if you woke up feeling like you need some attention in that area, you could say, hey, I need you to make time for me tonight. And trust me, your partner is going to make time. Okay. Or say, do you want to meet me in the shower? You got a little time. We all got to take a shower. Would you
Right.
like to join me? And so schedule in the time for all the things that bring you joy, including the very human thing, the great thing of sex.
I love it. I love it. Well, everybody, I'm going to put her information in the description box below, but it was a joy to have Tai Sawyer with me. Again, say where everybody can find you. And I hope that, all of you guys out here are going to take advantage of this unprecedented stay home action for the next month. I mean, who knows? I'm excited for what's going to happen at the end of it. And like I said, the goal
Yes.
for you guys to come out of quarantine better than how you came in.
Amen. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook at the Mindset Shift Maven, and on Twitter at _ Mindset Maven _.
All right. Well, thank you, Boo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I truly enjoyed myself.